Welcome to the Fantasy Audiobook. Super System Plundering the Heaven. Chapter 61. Hey, it's even more valuable than the flame orb. What exactly is that? Qian Yue was extremely curious, and asked Yi Yu, wanting to know what the other four things were. Yi Yu blinked and said with a smile, "Secret, I will tell you when I have collected all the auction items." Seeing that Yi Yu didn't want to say anything, Qian Yue could only give up, thinking like a cat scratching in his heart that there was something more valuable than the flame orb. Old money, can this auction item of mine bring your peak auction back to life? Qian Yue nodded and looked at Yi Yu sincerely. Just this flame orb can completely restore my losses. Okay, you take this orb away first, and I will give you the other auction items when I have time. Hearing what Yi Yu said, Qian Yue was stunned. Give it to me now. Yi Yu nodded and said indifferently, "Yes, do you still want me to carry the box back? It's heavy, okay." Qian Yue looked at Yi Yu with complicated eyes. "I have nothing now, aren't you afraid that I will run away with this flame orb?" Yi Yu looked into Qian Yue's eyes seriously, and said solemnly, "I believe you, your eyes tell me that you are not that kind of person." Qian Yue's eyes were instantly moistened. No one had ever trusted him so much, but this high school student who had only met twice, he trusted himself so much that he saved himself when he had nothing and was in the most critical time. "Yi Yu, thank you. Not only because you saved my life, but also because you gave me a chance to rise again." Qian Yue looked at Yi Yu with bright eyes, and said solemnly, "Since you trust me so much, I will live up to your trust." Dip. When saving people in danger, the reward will be drawn once. Just as Qian Yue finished saying these words, the voice of the system sounded in Yi Yu's mind. The corners of Yi Yu's mouth twitched up. Compared to Qian Yue's thanks, Yi Yu was more happy with the system's reward. Raising the teacup, Yi Yu motioned to Qian Yue, "Celebrate your comeback." Ding! Qian Yue put down the teacup. His eyes flashed, looked at Yi Yu and said, "Yi Yu, did you bring your ID card?" "Bring it, is there something wrong?" Yi Yu asked suspiciously. "If you want to auction items at the auction, you must register your name." Yi Yu nodded, took out his ID card, and handed it to Qian Yue. "Here." Qian Yue put away his ID card, and put Emperor Bei carefully into the box. Just as he was about to close the box, Qian Yue stopped, took off his jacket, and put it in the gap of the box. "What are you doing?" Yi Yu was curious about Qian Yue's actions. "This scallop is also a treasure. If it was bumped, wouldn't it be a big sin?" Qian Yue looked at the full box with satisfaction, and with clothes as buffer items, he would not break the imperial shell. After sending Qian Yue away, Yi Yu returned to the tea house. There were few people here, and the number of lottery draws was used up. Human race. Yi Yu, first level Taoist. Physique. Spirit sword body. Number of thefts. 0 inches. Avenue value. 210 1/1000. Talent. Flying cards, super mental arithmetic, language master, 13 needles of Ghost Gate. Gongfa. The 36th set of radio gymnastics. Items. Mantra potion, Conan's same spectacles, Dragon Gate jade carving, fire orb, luminous cup. Number of draws, 1 inch. Looking at the system panel in his mind, Yi Yu laughed. This time helping Qian Yue, he was rewarded with a lottery, which was really unexpected. "Let's start then," Yi Yu ordered, and the system panel disappeared, replaced by the lottery wheel. Looking at the rapidly turning pointer, Yi Yu shouted, "Stop." The slow-moving pointer finally stopped at an area, and the pattern on it gradually became clear. "Is this a pair of rings?" Yi Yu looked at the pattern on the screen and was surprised. The item that appeared on the pattern was a pair of entangled rings. Just looking at the ring on the screen, Yi Yu was already attracted to it. Swish! The picture in his mind suddenly disappeared, and then appeared in Yi Yu's palm. Yi Yu picked up the ring lying quietly in the palm of his hand and played with it carefully. The tentacles were warm and delicate, with a hint of coldness, which made Yi Yu refreshed. The main body of the ring is dark and deep, like a peaceful night sky, dotted with stars, like the Milky Way flowing by. Dip. Congratulations to the host for drawing the lovesick ring. Yi Yu rubbed the ring in his hand and asked the system in his mind. Acacia ring. What's the meaning? The ring name Acacia is formed from the lovesickness of the cowherd and the weaver girl. The far-reaching Altair, the Han girl of the Jiaojiao River. Ying Ying is in the water, and the pulse is speechless. Acacia ring. No matter how far, I know you are there, waiting for our reunion. Yi Yu put away the lovesick ring. This is probably the most beautiful lover's gift in the world. Jingle bell. Yi Yu took out the phone and looked at the screen. Han Shui. Yi Yu, are you free this afternoon? Han Shui's voice came from the phone. Available. Quote question mark question mark question mark. Today is Valentine's Day. I am alone. You can go out with me. Han Shui pondered for a moment and said to Yi Yu. Yi Yu's heart jumped abruptly and replied softly, okay. Mingzhou Amusement Park is the largest playground in Mingzhou City. It is located in a prosperous area. There are many people. Today, it is even more so. Walking on the street, there are couples everywhere. Yi Yu, I am here. Standing at the entrance of the playground, Han Shui shouted loudly when she saw Yi Yu walking by from a distance. The tight-fitting snow-white coat perfectly outlines Han Shui's figure, and her long, jet-black hair is scattered behind her, swaying gently with the breeze, looking unusually elegant. The delicate pretty face was painted with light makeup, and after seeing Yi Yu, she burst into a charming smile. People who pass by can't help but sigh, who can make this beautiful beauty fall in love. Walking quickly to Han Shui, looking at the happy girl in front of her, Yi Yu suddenly didn't know what to say. Let's go, it's finally a holiday today, and it's Valentine's Day, so we happen to be shopping here. After Han Shui finished speaking, she stretched out her hand and took Yi Yu's arm, and pulled Yi Yu into the playground. Under the jealous eyes of the men around, Yi Yu was pulled by Han Shui, walked into the crowd, and played all the way. Yi Yu and Han Shui stopped in front of a small booth. Look, Yi Yu, that rabbit is so cute. Han Shui took Yi Yu's hand, pointed at the rabbit doll in front, and jumped excitedly. There are a lot of cute dolls and interesting toys on the booth. The most attractive one is a half-human tall, snow-white big rabbit with a pair of long ears. Boss, how do you sell this rabbit doll? Seeing that Han Shui liked it, Yi Yu asked the stall owner aloud. Hearing Yi Yu's question, the stall owner pointed to a wooden board behind him and said, have you seen the circle on the board? As long as you hit the smallest circle on it with a dart, you can take this rabbit away. Yi Yu looked in the direction pointed by the stall owner, and saw a wooden board standing up 4 or 5 meters away. On the board, large and small circles are drawn, the smallest of which is only 5 millimeters in diameter. Boss, the circle is so small, how could it be hit? Han Shui looked at the circle above the wooden board in the distance, pouted and complained. Xiao Shui, if you want, you can ask Brother Qin to help you. Behind Yi Yu and Han Shui, a slightly frivolous voice came over. Yi Yu and Han Shui turned around and stood not far from them. A tall man was looking at them. The man was dressed in an expensive and decent suit and looked quite handsome, but Yi Yu frowned when he looked at the prey. A boldly dressed beauty was lying in the man's arms, looking at Han Shui with an unpleasant face provocatively. Qin Wubu, what are you doing here? Han Shui looked at the man and said with a frown. Qin couldn't let go of the beauty in his arms, took out a few banknotes and stuffed them into the gap in the woman's chest, and said to her, you can go. The woman's eyes were filled with joy at first, then she stuck to Qin Wu's body, kept twisting her body, and said softly, no way, didn't you mean to stay with me tonight? Qin couldn't push the woman away, tidied up his clothes, and said indifferently, don't make me say it a second time. The woman was startled, looked up at Qin Wu's icy eyes, shook her delicate body, turned and walked away quickly. Seeing the woman walking away, Qin Wufu turned around, looked at Han Shui, and said with a light smile, Uncle Han said that you came out, because I was afraid that you would not be safe alone, so I specially asked me to come to you. No need, I'm with my classmates. Han Shui took Yi Yu's hand and couldn't say anything to Qin. Qin couldn't watch Han Shui and Yi Yu hold hands together. A cold light flashed in his eyes, and then looked at Yi Yu with disgust. Xiao Shui, I told you a long time ago, don't hang out with random people. Qin can't. Please show some respect. He's my boyfriend. Han Shui shouted sharply when she heard the words. At the same time, Yi Yu felt that Han Shui was holding her hand tightly, her delicate body trembling slightly. Ha, boyfriend. Qin couldn't squinted at Yi Yu, and looked up and down. He's so shabby, I'm afraid he can't even buy a pair of your shoes. Chin couldn't blink his eyes, and then said, and Uncle Han told you not to fall in love. This is our family business, what does it have to do with you? Please go away and don't spoil our spirits. Han Shui held Yi Yu's hand even tighter, as if she was afraid that Yi Yu would suddenly leave. Although Yi Yu didn't know why Han Shui's father opposed Han Shui's love, now is not the time to ask. Yi Yu held Han Shui's hand with a backhand, looked at Qin Wu, and said indifferently, please get out of the way, you are blocking me from taking the prize. Qin Wu's anger rose in his heart, his eyes were sharp, and he said to Yi Yu in a cold tone, boy. Let go of your hand. Are you worthy of being Han Shui's boyfriend? Yi Yu glanced at the furious Qin Wu, but still looked indifferent. My love with Xiao Shui makes us free, you have no right to interfere. Ha ha, Qin couldn't laugh out loud, his eyes looking at Yi Yu were even more indifferent. Boy, you're very kind. Well, don't you want to give that rabbit to Han Shui? It just so happens that we have a competition. If you lose, please get away. Because of the quarrel between Yi Yu and the three of them, there were already a circle of people watching the fun. Seeing that Yi Yu and Qin couldn't compete, they all moved out of the way. Looking at the three people in the field, the people watching the lively around also began to discuss, guessing who could get the prize. The owner of the street stall has been in the playground for a long time, and many people have tried it all around, but no one has ever been able to get that rabbit jackpot. Hey, you said who can shoot? Someone in the crowd asked quietly. I think both of them are bad enough. The stall owner is a thief. The circle is so small, it's too hard to shoot. One person shook his head, looked at the small circle on the board, and said with a sigh. What do you want me to say? How rich that man is, how good he is. That's right, although the one named Yi Yu is more handsome, he's not too handsome to eat. If I choose, I'll choose Qin Wuan. A woman with heavy makeup looked at Qin Wuan with sparks in her eyes. In the discussion of the crowd, Qin Wubu walked to the booth first, raised his hand to pick up a dart, and was about to throw it at the wooden board. And many more. Yi Yu stopped Qin Wu, who wanted to throw a dart, out loud. Qin couldn't put away his dart, turned to look at Yi Yu, and sneered, afraid, want to go back. I'll give you a chance, get away now. Leave Han Shui. Yi Yu ignored Qin Wu, but pointed to the board behind him and said to the stall owner, Boss, please move the board 10 meters back, otherwise it's too simple. The stall owner was taken aback, and asked Yi Yu again, 10 meters. Yi Yu nodded to him and waved him to move. The people watching the lively around looked at Yi Yu who looked indifferent, and their eyes were a bit strange. Wow, plus 10 meters, you can't see the circle clearly, how can you shoot? This pretender is big enough, it depends on how he ends up in the end, don't miss it. I think he's just pretending, he can't compare to others, so he thinks like this. Hearing the crowd's discussion, Qin couldn't twitch the corners of his mouth and looked at Yi Yu. I admire you a bit, do you want to use this method to win me? It's so naive. No matter how far away you are, you will lose. Quote. After the stall owner rearranged the boards, the circles on the boards in the distance were really hard to see. And the smallest circle is not actually in the middle of the board, so it really depends on luck whether the dart can hit it. It's so far, it's all about luck. That boy had a good idea. Haha, this kind of dart is specially made, very light, so far away, I'm afraid it won't be able to fly. You can see that Qin can't be so calm. I'm afraid he can really hit the circle. The estimate for the one named Yi Yu is hanging. Qin Wu couldn't have a smile on the corner of his mouth, raised his head, and seemed quite confident. Looking at the wooden board in the distance, Qin couldn't squint his eyes slightly. After a while, his wrist flicked, and the dart turned into a black line and went straight to the wooden board. Swish, chop, the dart hit the board directly. Wow, is this all tied up? Look and see if there is a circle. If there is something good, run close to take a look, and shout loudly, it's amazing, it's really hit. Everyone gathered around to check, and the dart was firmly stuck on the smallest circle. Although it was close to the periphery of the circle, it was perfect at such a long distance. Qin couldn't smile confidently and looked at Yi Yu. It's your turn. Yi Yu walked to Qin Wu's side, picked up a dart, and then threw it. Looking at Qin Wu's side, he laughed. Do you really think you're going to win? Qin couldn't hold his shoulders, looked at Yi Yu, and sneered, pretend. I don't believe you can do better than me. Yi Yu's eyes flickered, Since that's the case, then look good. Conan's same glasses. Telephoto mode is activated. At this moment, the wooden planks in the distance seem to be close to my eyes. Super mental arithmetic is on. Plastic dart, weighing 25 grams, the center of gravity is forward, the tail deflection is 5 degrees, the air humidity is 30%, and the wind speed is 4 meters per second. A series of data appeared in Yi Yu's mind, but in an instant, Yi Yu already knew that he was going to win. Swish. With the eyes of everyone, the dart quickly crossed a straight line, and finally stuck on the side of Qin Wu's dart. Chop. The tail of the dart trembled, and finally stuck firmly on the wooden board. Qin couldn't put his arm down, stared at the wooden board in the distance, and murmured, "How is it possible?" People who were eager to know the result gathered around. Looking at the darts close together, he exclaimed, "Oh my God, hit the bull's eye, so accurate, how did he do it? It's amazing." But they both got hit, so who wins? Look, this dart is about to fall. Amid the exclamations of the crowd, the dart that Qin couldn't shoot suddenly trembled twice and then fell to the ground, while Yi Yu's dart was still standing on the wooden board. Who wins and who loses is clear at a glance. It's impossible. Qin couldn't see that the dart he shot out actually fell to the ground, and exclaimed, "Ha, maybe your strength is not enough." Yi Yu looked at Qin Wu, and said with a chuckle. Qin couldn't look gloomy, like a cloud of accumulating rain. Looking at Yi Yu, a sinister color was brewing in his eyes. "Little brother, this is for you." The stall owner took the snow-white big rabbit doll and handed it to Yi Yu. "I've never seen a dart expert like you before. If I meet you in the future, I'll have to take a detour." Yi Yu took the doll, turned around, and handed it to Han Shui. "Nuo, the rabbit you want." Han Shui hugged the rabbit doll in surprise, feeling its soft body, her big eyes smiling like crescent moons. "Yi Yu, you are amazing." The gloomy Qin couldn't stand aside, clenched his fists, and watched Yi Yu and Han Shui tease and play with resentment. The jealousy and anger in their eyes were almost as real. Toads dare to eat swan meat. Qin couldn't stare at Yi Yu sharply, wishing to turn it into a sharp sword and stab Yi Yu into a sieve. Seeing Han Shui looking at Yi Yu softly, Qin Wu could only comfort himself in his heart. Han Shui was just a novelty to him, just a poor boy. How charming can he be? Thinking of this, Qin couldn't smile confidently again. All women in this world love money, don't they? Cough, Xiao Shui. Qin couldn't let out a light cough, walked to Han Shui's side, and looked at her softly. "Why are you still here? Did you not lose enough?" Yi Yu raised his brows, looking at Qin Wu. His voice was slightly cold. Qin couldn't take out a delicate box from his arms, put it in front of Han Shui, and opened it gently. Cartier Angel Ring, the latest model, worth 100,000 yuan. Qin couldn't take the ring out of the box and handed it to Han Shui. "Today is Valentine's Day, this ring is for you." At this moment, it was the beginning of the lanterns, and the ring that Qin could not take out glowed with a dazzling luster under the illumination of the surrounding lights. "My God, this ring is so beautiful. This is Cartier's latest ring, worth hundreds of thousands. This is a real local tyrant. If you give it away, it will cost you hundreds of thousands. How come there is no such person pursuing me?" After Qin Wushan took out the angel's ring, almost all the women around were attracted by the ring in Qin Wushan's hands. The bright diamonds were so dazzling. But Han Shui didn't look at the angel ring at all. "Qin Wufu, don't you think you are naive? Or do you think I lack your money?" Facing Han Shui's ridicule, Qin couldn't ignore it, but looked at Yi Yu with disdain. "Of course you're not short of money, but don't you think he's not from the same world as us?" Qin couldn't point at Yi Yu, and the disdain in his eyes became more and more obvious. "Look at him, does the whole body add up to 100 yuan? Qin couldn't finish his sentence, and turned to look at Han Shui. "Xiao Shui, we were not born on the same level as him. He is a poor boy and can't give you the life you want." Han Shui's pretty face was flushed, and she pointed at Qin Wu to drink. "Qin Wu, do you think you are amazing? What else do you have besides money? You think you are superior. In my eyes, you are far worse than Yi Yu." Qin couldn't help but laugh angrily. He pointed at Yi Yu and said to Han Shui, "If you treat him as a boyfriend, what can he give you on Valentine's Day? Is it just such a worthless doll?" Han Shui hugged the doll that Yi Yu gave, and sneered. "Qin Wufu, don't think that everyone is a Philistine like you. I like people, not money." Qin couldn't see Han Shui insist, so he turned his head to look at Yi Yu, and said sarcastically, as Han Shui's boyfriend, on Valentine's Day, you won't really only give a broken doll, let's add more the last $10 rose. Yi Yu looked at Qin Wu, and smiled indifferently, what a coincidence, I also want to give Han Shui a ring. Qin couldn't look at Yi Yu, and the disdain in his eyes became stronger and stronger, just you, a poor student, what ring can you give Han Shui? You bought it for a few dollars on the street. The people watching the lively around are also interested, this high school student also gave a ring. The angel's ring costs 100,000 yuan. What good things can you give as a student? That's right, I advise you not to take it out, so as not to be embarrassed. No comparison, no harm, little brother, hurry up and go. What kind of love is there with a poor student? Let's be realistic, I bet he doesn't give more than 200 rings. Yi Yu ignored the mocking crowd around him, but looked at Han Shui tenderly, Xiao Shui, today is Valentine's Day, I'll give you a gift too. Han Shui nodded excitedly, her star eyes turned into spring water, well, no matter what you give me, it is the most precious treasure in the world. Qin Wu, who was on the side, stared at Yi Yu viciously, cut. I want to see what precious treasures you can come up with. Facing Han Shui's expectant gaze, Yi Yu took out a box from his bosom. The box was very simple, without any extra fancy. It was bought by Yi Yu at a roadside merchandise store. Looking at the box that Yi Yu took out, Qin Wu couldn't laugh out loud, ha ha, Yi Yu, this is the gift you gave. Tell me, is it worth 10 yuan even with the ring in the box? Everyone around looked at each other in dismay, and looked at Yi Yu very strangely. It's too worthless, he's too embarrassed to take it out. That's right, look, the label on that box hasn't been removed yet, 3 yuan. Ha ha, he's too funny, isn't he just giving this as a gift to his girlfriend? Yi Yu handed the box to Han Shui, and said softly, Xiao Shui, I said that what matters is what's inside, not what looks gorgeous. Open it and take a look. Han Shui didn't mind the simple packaging of Yi Yu's gift at all, but took the box excitedly and opened it with great anticipation. Qin couldn't see that Han Shui didn't dislike it at all, and became more and more jealous of Yi Yu, and said viciously, Han Shui, why are you opening it? I would have thrown it away, so as not to get my eyes dirty. Han Shui ignored Qin Wu, and now she only had the box given by Yi Yu, which was the first time he had given her. Han Shui stretched out her slender snow-white hand and gently opened the box. What? Han Shui exclaimed and looked at the contents in disbelief. I'm just saying, what good things can he send? Qin couldn't be instantly complacent, he thought it was because the contents were too broken. Seeing Han Shui's happy look, Yi Yu smiled slightly, Xiao Shui, do you like the gift I gave you? It's called Acacia Ring. Han Shui covered her mouth excitedly, her eyes were slightly wet, and she almost cried, I like it. It's so beautiful. Qin Wu, who is on the side, can't calm down now, is it really something good to fail? Better than your own angel ring. Han Shui, take it out. I don't believe he can give anything good. Han Shui stretched out her hand, took out the stacked acacia rings from the box, and placed them under the bright light. This pair of acacia rings is polished and carved from a single block of black diamonds. The surface is covered with rhombus mirrors invisible to the naked eye and inlaid with countless tiny diamonds. Swish. The lights are constantly refracted by the acacia ring, shrouding this street in it. What surrounds everyone is not the lights, but the shining stars in the sky. Under the dark night sky, there seems to be a Milky Way flowing, and the boundless and mysterious starry sky is falling on the street at this moment. Everyone on the street was quiet, staring blankly at Han Shui's hand, unable to speak for a long time, because at this moment, the beauty beyond the limit made everyone unconsciously indulge in it. There is still such a treasure in the world, this is not a ring, but a bright galaxy. It's so beautiful, there is such a dreamy ring. This is not a ring, this is the starry sky. It turns out that this young man is the real local tyrant. Compared with it, the angel ring is rubbish. If this ring is given to me, even if I die at the moment, it will be happy. Intoxicated under the starry sky created by the acacia ring, it took a long time for everyone to regain their senses, and their gazes towards Yi Yu were full of admiration and enthusiasm. Qin Wufu also recovered from the shock, and staggered back a few steps, his originally handsome face became extremely hideous. No. Impossible. How could his ring be more precious than mine? Fake, it must be fake. A gray-haired, calm man walked out of the crowd, took a few steps forward, and asked with a trembling voice, "Little brother Yi, I'm the chief jewelry expert of Bulgari Jewelry Company, I can take a look at this pair. Acacia ring." Hearing this person's introduction, someone in the surrounding crowd exclaimed, "Bulgari Jewelry. The world's highest-ranked jewelry company, this person is the chief expert, he must be unusual." Yi nodded and motioned to him, "Yes." The man approached the lovesick ring excitedly, put on a pair of glasses, observed it carefully, and took a deep breath from time to time. Chin couldn't ask with a hint of hope, "How is it? Is it fake?" "It's rubbish." The man's eyes didn't leave the acacia ring for a moment, and he replied casually, "It's rubbish." Chin couldn't be ecstatic in an instant, and looked at Yi proudly, "Ha ha ha. I just said, you are trash." The man straightened up and sighed as he looked at Chin Wu, "The garbage I said was your angel ring." Chin couldn't believe it and screamed, "Impossible. My angel ring is worth 100,000. The man said contemptuously, 100,000. Compared to this pair of unparalleled treasures, your angel ring is indeed rubbish. The people around were also discussing, what exactly are these rings? Even a $100,000 ring is rubbish compared to it. The jewelry expert looked at everyone's puzzled eyes and said loudly, "This ring is entirely carved from a single black diamond, and countless crystal diamonds are engraved on it by unknown techniques. Not to mention its own value, its carving techniques and skills are priceless treasures." Hearing the answer from the jewelry expert, there was a sound of inhalation from all around. "This is too exaggerated. How much does it cost? Have you heard? This is a priceless treasure. This young man is so generous. Wow, this boy is so handsome, I want to be his girlfriend. He already has a girlfriend, why are you joining in the fun? I don't care, even if it is a spare tire." Glancing at the envious and jealous women around, Han Shuichao's face became more and more rosy. Looking at Yi, she whispered, "Yi, this is too precious, me." Yi reached out to stop Han Shui, and said firmly, "Don't refuse, no matter how precious things are, they are not worth your smile." Han Shui was drunk in Yi's tenderness, and plunged directly into Yi's arms, her small head pressed against Yi's strong chest. "Yi, I like you." Yi rubbed Han Shui's dark hair, lowered his head and kissed lightly, "Me too. Wow, so romantic. If only I had a boyfriend like this. This is my male god. I want to be his spare tire. I'm going to give him a monkey." All the women around screamed, because they found that Yi was not only beautiful, but also so generous and rich. And Chin Wu had been stunned for a long time, no one would look at him at this moment. Compared to the brilliant Yi, Chin Wu at this moment was just a clown who had left the stage. Dip. Congratulations to the host for defeating a rival in love, the goddess is in love, and a lottery will be rewarded. The sound of the system sounded in Yi's mind, making the corners of Yi's mouth slightly warped, making him even more happy. Outside the playground, Han Shui was holding Yi's arm with a sweet and happy expression on her face, and the two of them each had an acacia ring in their hands. Because Yi's gift of the ring caused a great stir, the two had to squeeze out of the crowd to avoid being surrounded by people. As soon as the breeze blew, Han Shui, who was intoxicated in romance and happiness, was a little sober, and reached out and twisted Yi's waist. "Just now, there were many beautiful women rushing to be your spare tire." Yi felt the little hand on his waist, and quickly begged for mercy, "They are all talking nonsense, and they don't even look at how beautiful Xiao Shui is in my family." Han Shui blushed shyly, and kicked Yi lightly, "Humph. Who is your family?" Just as Yi was about to speak, a faint exclamation from a distance made him frown. "Where are you, Tang Tang? Don't scare Auntie." The voice was clear and sweet, but it was worrying. "Something happened. Let's go over there." After Yi finished speaking, he pulled Han Shui and ran over. Yi pulled Han Shui, and as soon as she ran to the corner, she saw a woman shouting loudly. The woman is soft and beautiful, wearing a plain long dress, and her gentle and watery temperament makes her look like a person in a painting. It was the aunt that Yi met earlier, the little girl named Tang Tang. But at this moment, Tang Tang's aunt was about to cry in a hurry. Yi and Han Shui ran over and hurriedly asked, "What happened to you? What happened?" Seeing Yi asking, the woman seemed to have caught a life-saving straw. She pulled Yi Yu and said anxiously, "My name is Lu Qingxin, and just now my niece suddenly disappeared. I can't find her." After Lu Qingxin finished speaking, tears finally flowed down. Her delicate appearance was particularly distressing. Hearing this, Yi Yu hurriedly asked, "Did you mean Tang Tang?" Lu Qingxin was stunned for a moment, then looked at Yi Yu for a moment, and finally remembered that it was Yi Yu who helped Tang Tang a few days ago. "Yes, we came out of the playground just now, but Tang Tang disappeared in a blink of an eye." Yi Yu frowned and disappeared in a blink of an eye. Looking around, there are many vehicles on the street, but there are not many pedestrians. How can people not see it? Unless Tang Tang was taken into the car by someone else. While observing, Yi Yu said, "Sister Lu, don't panic, Tang Tang must have been caught by someone else and taken away." Lu Qingxin heard the words, his face was pale, and his eyes showed despair. "What should I do?" Yi Yu looked at the crowded street and said with certainty, "There are a lot of cars on the street, they can't walk fast. But with so many cars on the street, which one is it?" Yi Yu walked aside. There happened to be a stone platform nearly 2 meters high. Ignoring the shock of Han Shui and Lu Qingxin, he jumped and Yi Yu jumped onto the stone platform. Looking at the vehicles coming and going on the street, Yi Yu frowned, completely clueless. Suddenly a car caught Yi Yu's attention. The windows of the white van were covered with a thick glass film, making it difficult to see what was inside. A small piece of paper floated out from the gap in the car window, and when the wind blew it, it swirled in midair. With his extraordinary eyesight and Conan's same glasses, Yi Yu could see the piece of paper clearly. It was a playing card, the King of Spades, the one that Yi Yu gave Tang Tang. "There, found." Yi Yu jumped off the stone platform and pointed at the van that was eager to move forward. "You guys are here waiting for the police, I'll go after them." Seeing that the van was about to go far, Yi Yu turned around and said something to Han Shui and Lu Qingxin, then stepped on the ground and quickly chased after them. Yi Yu ran extremely fast, like a gust of wind, and quickly narrowed the distance, but at this moment the van had already driven out of the crowded road, stepped on the accelerator, and suddenly rushed forward. On the street outside the gate of the Pearl Amusement Park, vehicles are rushing, pulling up the streamers. Yi Yu's eyes were fixed on the white van in front of him, and he exerted force with his steps to bring up the afterimages and chase after them. At this moment, the van has begun to accelerate, and with the roar of the engine, the vehicles on both sides are left behind. Conan's glasses had already locked the car. Yi Yu tried to catch up, and his strong physical fitness made Yi Yu tightly bite behind the van. While chasing, he took out his mobile phone and dialed Kui Ying, the beautiful policewoman who had met once. Quote question mark question mark question mark. "Beep. I'm Yi Yu. I have something important," Yi Yu said hurriedly when the other side answered the phone. Kui Ying was sitting on a chair with a phone in her hand, and the corner of her mouth smiled. She still remembered that magical high school student. "It's Yi Yu's little brother. What are you looking for with my sister?" Kui Ying asked in confusion when she heard the whistling from her phone. "What are you doing? What a big wind." Yi Yu fixed his eyes on the car, kept walking, and said, "A little girl has been kidnapped, and I'm chasing it." Kui Ying immediately stood up from the chair. She knew that Yi Yu would not lie to herself. "Who kidnapped? Where is it?" On the street outside the Pearl Amusement Park, they drove off in a white van. The license plate number is Ming H357. Hearing that the situation was urgent, Kui Ying quickly said, "Okay. I know, you must be careful." Kui Ying hung up the phone and hurried to the sheriff's office. Lu Qingxin here also called Tang Tang's father. In the police chief's office, Lu Huayuan suddenly stood up and clenched the phone in his hand. "What did you say?" "Tang Tang was kidnapped. Don't worry about it. Listen to me, who kidnapped it?" "I don't know. A high school student chased after him. Isn't this nonsense?" "Okay, I'll rush over right away." Lu Huayuan hung up the phone and saw Kui Ying hurriedly pushing the door in. "Xiaoying, you came just in time. My daughter Tang Tang was kidnapped and asked someone to come with me." Kui Ying was stunned for a moment, and then she realized that the little girl Yi Yu said should be Tang Tang. "I know, on the outer street of Mingzhu Amusement Park, there is a white van with the license plate number H357. An excited look flashed in Lu Huayuan's eyes. He hurriedly pushed open the door, and shouted to the outside, "Tell the technical department to keep an eye on that car." I want to know all its whereabouts. Others follow me. Yes. A group of 7 or 8 police officers, led by LV Yuan, drove in the direction of the Pearl Amusement Park and sped away. At this moment, the van had already driven on the side road with less traffic, and it drove at an unscrupulous speed. Yi Yu, who was behind him, gritted his teeth and chased after him with all his strength, but he could only bear to be thrown off. His eyes were even colder when he looked at the vehicle ahead. Inside the van, 4 burly men with guns in their hands were sitting upright, while Tang Tang was bound with her hands and feet, her mouth sealed, and curled up on the back seat, her little face turning white with fear. A man with a knife scar who was driving looked at the rearview mirror for a moment and said aloud, "Brother, someone is chasing us." The man who was called the eldest brother was a lean man. Hearing that, his eyes flashed, and he looked behind him. He saw Yi Yu strutting his legs and chasing the car. The lean man's eyes narrowed, shocked in his heart. Who is this person, and the speed is so fast? The other 2 gangsters are bald-headed twin brothers with identical faces. Seeing Yi Yu chasing the car, they laughed disdainfully. Is this person a fool? He actually wants to catch up with the car. Can 2 legs catch up with 4 wheels? Hurry up with the scar, don't let him catch up with you. Ha ha. The gangster who drove the car gave a grim smile, stepped on the accelerator, and the van flew out like a roaring beast. I can't catch up. Yi Yu stared at the accelerating car in front of him, gritted his teeth in hatred, and could only watch the car pull away from him. Just as Yi Yu was extremely anxious, as he watched the vehicle go away, his eyes suddenly lit up. System. Human race. Yi Yu, first level Taoist. Physique. Spirit sword body. Number of thefts. 0 inches. Avenue value. 210 1/1000. Talent. Flying cards, super mental arithmetic, language master, 13 needles of Ghost Gate. Gongfa. The 36th set of radio gymnastics. Items. Mantra potion, Conan's same spectacles, Dragon Gate jade carving, fire orb, luminous cup. Number of draws, 1 inch. Swish. The system panel appeared in his mind, and Yi Yu stared at the remaining number of lottery draws, looking forward to it. Lottery. The lottery carousel appeared in my mind, and the pointer spun rapidly. Stop. After only 2 breaths, Yi Yu shouted in his heart. Looking at the pointer that stopped slowly, Yi Yu had never been in such a hurry before. Hurry up. Dip. Congratulations to the host for winning the one-time wind-chasing talisman. Wind-chasing talisman, a one-time item, nothing can stop me from chasing the wind. Yi Yu held this pale yellow charm in his hand, and his heart was excited, and he caught you. Looking at the car that was about to go far, Yi Yu put the wind-chasing talisman on his body. Swish. The wind at this moment seems to be different. It is no longer an obstacle to Yi Yu's progress, but a help. Yi Yu felt a strong thrust behind him. With this thrust, Yi Yu's running speed suddenly increased. With the bonus of the wind-chasing talisman, Yi Yu only took 3 or 2 steps before catching up with the car again. Yi Yu's eyes were cold as he looked at the car that was close at hand. I wanted to see who was so bold. A bald man in the car glanced back inadvertently, and suddenly he was in a panic. Outside the car window, Yi Yu, who was close at hand, was staring at him with cold eyes, and the bald man instantly broke out in cold sweat. Scar, hurry up, he's going to catch up. The driver's Scar looked in the rearview mirror and was surprised. What? He really caught up. The eldest of the 4, the lean man, looked back and took a deep breath. Open the Scar quickly. I'm afraid he is not an ordinary person. Scar's face twitched, and he stepped on the accelerator, shouting loudly, this is already the fastest speed. The bald-headed man looked terrified and looked at Yi Yu in disbelief. At this moment, Yi Yu was only 1 step away from the car. How is that possible? He actually runs faster than a car. Snapped. The lean man slapped the bald man on the face and said fiercely, what's the use of him running fast? Is the gun in your hand a decoration? Gun. Yes, I still have a gun. The bald man shook his body, clenched the gun in his hand, and calmed down. The 2 big twins, holding firearms in their hands, leaned out from both sides of the vehicle and pulled the trigger at Yi Yu. Yi Yu, who was running, suddenly felt a tingling between his brows, his body instinctively stopped, and he rolled to the side. Boom, boom. The 2 bullets hit the road at the same time, blasting 2 potholes. Yi Yu looked at the bullet holes on the road and was shocked. These gangsters were so unscrupulous that they dared to shoot. Looking at the vehicle that opened the distance again, Yi Yu gritted his teeth and chased after him again. He must catch you. Whoa, whoa, a whistle of sirens came from far to near, rushing towards Yi Yu's direction. The lean man in the car stood up suddenly, a flicker of anger flashed in his eyes. That arrives so fast. Stop playing. The police are catching up. Chapter 71. Ha ha ha, I'll let you chase. Eat the gun. A bald man watched Yi Yu stop and laughed proudly. Boy, good luck just now. I see if you can escape. Another bald man pulled the trigger with a gun. Boom, boom, boom. The twin bald men each held their guns, aimed at Yi Yu who was chasing behind, and poured out bullets mercilessly. But the bullet didn't hit Yi Yu, and Yi Yu avoided it all. Yi Yu knows that this is the ability of the spirit sword body. Once there is danger, his body will warn you in advance. Coupled with super mental arithmetic, it is even more unpredictable. Yi Yu was as light as a swallow at this moment, like a fish swimming in the water, flexibly dodging the pursuit of bullets. Bang bang bang. The sound of the popping cavities formed a line, hitting the road behind the vehicle with potholes, while Yi Yu took a mysterious step and followed closely behind. The twins' bald-headed men started to scramble mechanically. Their facial expressions went from being proud at the beginning to being terrified now. Looking at Yi Yu who was dodging bullets, it was like seeing a monster. Click, click. The gun in his hand made the sound of an empty gun, and the bald man recovered from the shock, and withdrew into the car with a strange scream. Looking at the two big men who were trembling and sweating on their foreheads, the lean man frowned. What are you two doing? Why haven't you killed him yet? A bald man heard the boss's reprimand and said tremblingly, Boss, he's a monster. We can't hit him at all. Another bald man quickly nodded in response, Boss. He's like a prophet, I can't hit him. When the lean man heard the responses of the two big men, he waved and slapped them in the face. Snapped, snapped. The faces of the two big men swelled up instantly. Two wastes. If you don't hit, you have to interfere with him, don't let him catch up. The two bald-headed men looked at their boss's icy gaze, so they had to lower their heads to change the magazines, leaned out from the car window, and wanted to snipe Yi Yu again. When the two bald-headed men retracted, Yi Yu had already taken out two playing cards, one in each hand, and tucked them between his fingers. Yi Yu knew that passive defense would definitely not work, and Yi Yu felt that the energy of the one-time wind-chasing talisman was about to run out, so he had to catch up with them before the energy ran out. Seeing the two bald men leaning out again, Yi Yu's eyes flashed, chance. Swish. Yi Yu's two wrists shook at the same time, burst out with all his strength, and with the help of super mental arithmetic, he directly hit the wrists of the two with guns. The rapidly spinning poker cards were as fast as lightning, as sharp as a blade, and passed by in a flash. What? Feeling the severe pain in the wrist, the two bald men screamed in shock, and the guns in their hands fell to the ground. The two bald-headed men suddenly retracted into the car, clutching their wrists, their faces pale in pain and sweating profusely. Yi Yu's playing cards cut off most of the two's wrists, leaving only a trace of flesh still attached. What happened? Seeing the miserable appearance of the two, the lean man asked in shock. One of the bald-headed men paused for a while before whispering, It's playing cards. He cut off our wrists with playing cards. Tang, who was curled up on the back seat of the car, instantly widened her eyes when she heard the playing cards, and cried out. Tang knew that it was her big brother K of Spades who came to save her. Earlier, Yi Yu gave Tang a playing card, which was a King of Spades. Tang has always kept this playing card, but when he was caught earlier, he had the lean man throw it out of the car. At this moment, I realized that Yi Yu was coming to me, so Tang cried out. Seeing that Tang was dishonest, the lean man glared at Tang viciously, and shouted sharply, Stay honest. If you call me again, I'll chop you up. The lean man stared at Tang, whose face was pale because of fright, with a firm look in his eyes. This is a request from above and must be obtained. A crackling sound of glass shattered, which shocked the four gangsters in the car. Yi Yu had turned over and entered the car at this moment, surrounded by four bandits. However, Yi Yu did not panic at all. Instead, he used super mental arithmetic with all his strength, using both hands and feet. While dodging the thin man's gunshots, he kicked the two bald men beside him. Driven by a huge force, the two bald men on Yi Yu's side, along with the car doors on both sides, all collapsed and flew out of the car. The lean man was shocked in his heart. What a domineering skill. Ignoring the two subordinates who were thrown out of the car, they raised their guns and shot at Yi Yu. Boom. With the help of supermental arithmetic, Yi Yu had already calculated his intention to shoot through his muscle movements before the lean man fired. Yi Yu tilted his head, and the scorching bullet swept across Yi Yu's side with a circle of air waves, without the slightest damage. What? Yi Yu dodged the bullet, but the knife-scarred man who was driving was hit in the shoulder by the bullet. The car shook suddenly, and the firearm in the thin man's hand fell, but he immediately stabilized his body, drew a dagger from behind his waist, and stabbed Yi Yu. However, Yi Yu was not afraid at all, punched up, and fought with the lean man. Through these days of study with Xing Meng, as well as the continuous practice of radio gymnastics, Yi Yu has further developed the potential of the spirit sword body. Cooperate with the super-mental arithmetic of cheating, and suppress the lean man. The lean man became more and more frightened. What kind of monster is this? Involuntarily panicked during the shot. Yi Yu's eyes lit up. He seized the opportunity. His right arm was like a long spear, and his fingertips stabbed the thin man's chest fiercely. Boom. Click. Yi Yu's fingertips were like the head of a gun, denting the thin man's chest. At the same time, the sharpness of the spirit sword body's spontaneous operation, after smashing the heart, the clothes on the back of the lean man burst open. Puff. The lean man spat out a mouthful of blood, then turned pale and lay in the car, dead. The scarred man who was driving at this moment could no longer control the speeding car, and he was about to hit the isolation belt on the side of the road. Yi Yu hurriedly picked up the stunned Tang Tang, followed the broken car door, turned over and jumped out. Because he was protected by Yi Yu in his arms, Tang Tang was not hurt in any way after jumping out of the car. When Yi Yu stood up to loosen Tang Tang, the car had already hit the isolation belt, and after making a loud noise, it turned over to the side of the road. Squeak. 3 or 2 police cars stopped behind Yi Yu with their long brake marks. The door of the car opened suddenly, and 7 or 8 police officers, as well as Lu Qingxin and Han Shui, came down. Yi Yu, are you all right? Han Shui hurried to Yi Yu's side, took Yi Yu's hand, and was about to cry. Seeing Han Shui Li's rainy appearance, Yi Yu felt very distressed, and quickly comforted her softly. Xiao Shui, I'm fine, don't worry. It's all right, you're bleeding. Han Shui saw the blood splattered on Yi Yu's chest, and her tears couldn't stop flowing. Yi Yu looked down and saw a bloodstain on his chest. It was the blood spurting from the thin man's mouth, which stained on Yi Yu's clothes. Relax, I'm not hurt, it's not my blood. Candy. When Lu Qingxin got out of the car, he saw Tang Tang standing by Yi Yu's side, and hurriedly ran over, not letting go. Lu Huayuan also saw that his daughter was safe and sound, and he was relieved to mention it. Walking to Yi Yu, he first comforted his daughter, and then saluted Yi Yu. Thank you. If it wasn't for you, Tang Tang would have been kidnapped. Yi Yu looked at this dignified middle-aged man suspiciously, and asked aloud, You're welcome, who are you? Kui Ying, who was behind Lu Huayuan, took a step forward and said to Yi Yu, This is Tang Tang's father, and he is also the sheriff of the Mingzhou police station. When Yi Yu heard this, he was in awe. He knew that Lu Huayuan was a police chief who had been fighting on the front line all the year round. Yi Yu looked at Lu Huayuan and was keenly aware that there was a very strong power hidden in his body, especially when his blood was surging. It was like a river rushing back and forth endlessly. Yi Yu felt that this Lu Huayuan was most likely a warrior in the blood-nourishing realm. Seeing that a group of police officers were maintaining order, checking vehicles and the gangster's injuries, Yi Yu felt that he had nothing to do with him after finishing the record, so he took the initiative to leave. Sergeant Lu, Tang Tang has been rescued, so can we go? Call me Uncle Lu, I'll let Xiao Lu take you back, thank you another day. Lu Huayuan looked at Yi Yu and was very grateful. If it weren't for Yi Yu, Tang Tang might not be able to find it. Seeing Yi Yu and Han Shui get into the car, Lu Huayuan turned around and asked Kui Ying, Xiao Ying, how are the bandits doing now? Kui Ying took the record sheet, glanced at it, took a deep breath, and then said slowly, the head of the bandit was shattered, his heart burst and died, the man with the scar was shot in the shoulder, and the wrists of the remaining 2 criminals were both cut off by sharp blades. After Lu Huayuan heard this, his eyes were solemn. This Yi Yu is not easy. At this moment, Yi Yu was sitting in the car, listening to the system sound in his mind. Dip. Congratulations to the host for saving a life, and a prize draw. Officer Liu drove Yi Yu and Han Shui to the gate of Mingzhu Amusement Park. In Han Shui's reluctant eyes, the driver of Han Shui's family picked up Han Shui directly. Student Yi Yu, shall I take you home directly? Officer Liu asked when he saw Yi Yu alone. Yi Yu shook his head and said, send me to school, I still have something to do. Xiao Lu turned the car around and drove in the direction of the school. Sitting in the car, Yi Yu immersed his mind in his mind. He also had a lottery draw. System, start the lottery. The familiar turntable appeared in Yi Yu's mind, and the pointer began to spin. Stop. Following Yi Yu's order, the pointer slowly stopped. Dip. Congratulations to the host for taking a bottle of moonflower dew. Officer Liu sent Yi Yu to the school, because the physical education teacher Xingmeng said that even on Sunday, the practice of boxing at night could not be stopped. Yi Yu didn't go in directly, but took out the prize from the lottery, Yuhualu. Yuehualu, an ointment containing traces of the essence of the moon, which can be used to temper the body. Yi Yu held a small porcelain bottle in his hand, which contained Yuehualu. Opening the cork, Yi Yu directly drank Yuehualu into his mouth, smacking his lips, feeling cold and very comfortable to drink. With the release of the medicinal power, Yi Yu felt hot all over his body and his skin was hot, and it took a long time for this feeling to subside. What followed was more powerful strength, and Yi Yu could feel that the fascia under his skin was tighter and more defensive. Clenching his fists, Yi Yu became happy. Is this a first-grade leather martial artist? But looking at the time, Yi Yu's excitement of becoming a warrior disappeared, because the time agreed with Xingmeng had already passed. By the time Yi Yu arrived at the school playground, Yan Fengwu had already practiced boxing under the guidance of Xingmeng. Seeing that Yi Yu was late, Xingmeng shouted with a dark face, practicing boxing is about perseverance. If you want to practice boxing well, you have to have great perseverance. If you are late like you, what kind of boxing is there to practice? Seeing Yi Yu being reprimanded, Yan Fengwu stuck out her tongue and said to Xingmeng, Master, junior brother Yi Yu may be late for something, so don't blame him. Xingmeng got even more angry after hearing this. Can I be late if I have something? If something happens every day, when can I become a martial artist? Yi Yu heard Xingmeng's reprimand and knew that he was doing it for his own good, so he couldn't refute it, so he could only whisper, that, Teacher Xing, I'm already a warrior now. What did you say? Xingmeng widened his eyes and looked at Yi Yu in disbelief. Junior brother Yi Yu, aren't you lying to us? How could you become a warrior so quickly? Yan Fengwu on the side was also shocked by Yi Yu's words. Could it be that he has practiced in vain over the past few years? And let Yi Yu take the lead. Mr. Xing, senior sister Feng Wu, I have really become a first-grade skin-level martial artist. Yi Yu sighed and knew that you didn't believe it. In fact, Yi Yu didn't believe it either, but there was no way, that's the truth. Swish, Xingmeng took a big step, jumped to Yi Yu, grabbed Yi Yu's arm and checked. The skin is firm, as tough as cowhide, as smooth as jade, and the pores are almost invisible. Xingmeng murmured to himself while grabbing Yi Yu's arm, this is indeed a first-rank skin practitioner. When Yan Fengwu heard the words, she also ran to Yi Yu's side, stretched out her jade hand, pressed the mold up and down, and said in surprise, it's really a first-grade leather martial artist. How did you do it, junior brother? Yi Yu's eyebrows trembled, watching Yan Fengwu up and down her hands, and said a little embarrassedly, cough, senior sister, do you want to let me go first? Yan Fengwu's face turned red in a flash. She quickly took a step back, looked up at the sky, and pretended that nothing happened. Yi Yu, why did you become a warrior so quickly? Xingmeng is very curious, although Yi Yu's physical fitness has exceeded the limit of ordinary people, but he should not become a martial artist so quickly. Cough. Yi Yu coughed dryly, and at the same time organized the language in his heart. He couldn't say that it was because he drank a bottle of Yuehualu. Because I had a fight with a bandit with you before I came, I was very nervous and excited, so I broke through involuntarily. Yi Yu told Xingmeng and Yan Fengwu what had happened before, and emphasized that it was he who made a breakthrough on the spot and became a martial artist at the skin level. Xingmeng pondered after listening. it turns out that this is the case, so it's no wonder. His physical fitness has reached the standard of a warrior, and through a sharp mental stimulation, it is a matter of course to become a warrior. Yan Fengwu grimaced and sighed. Her little junior brother has become a martial artist, where should you put your face? No, I'm going to fight the bandits too. After Yan Fengwu finished speaking, she was about to run out, but was stopped by Xing Meng. What are you doing? When you hone your physical fitness to the limit of the human body, you can become a martial artist. It's just a matter of time, why are you in a hurry? Yan Fengwu pouted, I've been waiting for this one step for a long time. Now that Yi Yu has become a martial artist, can I not be in a hurry? Yi Yu looked at Yan Fengwu, moved in his heart, and said, if you want to become a warrior quickly, maybe I have a way. Yan Fengwu grabbed Yi Yu's arm and hurriedly asked, what's the way? Tell me. It's a big deal, I'll be your junior sister. Xing Meng darkened his face and drank, nonsense. What can Yi Yu do? Yan Fengwu's eyes also dimmed, and she let go of Yi Yu's arm, a little disappointed. Seeing that the two did not believe it, Yi Yu continued, what I said is true, I have a way to quickly improve Fengwu's physical fitness. Yan Fengwu's eyes lit up again. She stared at Yi Yu for a long time, and then she gritted her teeth, you can use it if you can. I'll follow. Seeing Yan Fengwu preparing to give her life generously, Yi Yu was a little dumbfounded, can I still dive into you? Okay, I'll do a set of moves first, you can do it with me, if you can persevere, you can definitely become a martial artist. Yan Fengwu asked suspiciously, action. Yi Yu nodded, okay, the 36th set of radio gymnastics, start now. Xing Meng picked up a bottle of water and sat aside. He wanted to see if Yi Yu had any way to make Yan Fengwu quickly become a martial artist. Stretching exercises. Yi Yu did radio gymnastics directly on the playground, and every move and style had strong campus characteristics. Yan Fengwu frowned, gritted her teeth and said, Yi Yu. This is your method. Stop, I promise not to kill you. Yi Yu stopped, of course not to let Yan Fengwu fight, but asked suspiciously, why don't you do it with me? I'm a ghost to you. Yan Fengwu's eyes darkened, and she almost fainted, Yi Yu. Are you amusing me? Seeing that Yan Fengwu was angry, Yi Yu quickly explained, Fengwu, don't be angry first, the next step is serious action. Yan Fengwu couldn't believe it, but the idea of becoming a warrior made her resist the idea of killing Yi Yu and started radio gymnastics. Xing Meng, who was sitting on the side, smiled and took a sip of water, and the horrible appearance of Yi Yu being beaten appeared in his mind. Yi Yu waited for Yan Fengwu to finish the warm-up movements, and then said to her, the following is the serious movement. Be sure to follow the standard and stick to it. Yan Fengwu's towering chest heaved up and down a few times, and then she nodded her head, come on, let me see what serious moves you can do. All right. After Yi Yu finished speaking, he turned and twisted himself into a twist. Puff. All the water in Xing Meng's mouth spurted out, staring at Yi Yu with wide eyes, what the hell is this? I used to have a strong campus style before, but now I'm doing super difficult acrobatics. This style of painting has changed too fast. Yan Fengwu also took a deep breath, looked at Yi Yu with her mouth open, and was stunned by Yi Yu's amazing movements. After Yi Yu made a move, seeing that Yan Fengwu did not move, he shouted to Yan Fengwu, come on Fengwu, as long as you follow me and stick to it, you will definitely be able to unlock. And you will definitely become a warrior. Yan Fengwu nodded numbly, okay. Twisting her waist and raising her hips, raising her legs over her shoulders, Yan Fengwu followed Yi Yu's movements and pulled her body to the limit. Hey, it hurts. After maintaining a movement, Yan Fengwu felt the incomparable pain in her body, and she resisted and did not let go. Very good. Next is this action. Yi Yu nodded with satisfaction. It seems that Yan Fengwu's body is very flexible. Xing Meng on the side stared blankly at Yi Yu and Yan Fengwu. He didn't even know that the bottle in his hand fell. He was shocked that the human body could still do this. As the movements continued, Yan Fengwu quickly exhausted her strength, sweating profusely, her body swaying, and she was about to fall down. No way, Yi Yu, I can't hold on anymore. Yan Fengwu maintained her movements, panting. Seeing that Yan Fengwu was about to take it no longer, Yi Yu quickly shouted, hold on. Do you feel a heat gushing out of your body now? The heat. Yan Fengwu shook her dizzy head, closed her eyes and frowned, sinking her heart to feel her own changes. After a while, Yan Fengwu suddenly widened her eyes with a look of surprise in her eyes, and exclaimed, "Yes. I feel it, it is gushing out of my body." Yan Fengwu's excited eyes turned red, she could feel that she was about to become a warrior. Boom! Xing Meng stood up abruptly, blood surging all over his body like a river, with a surging momentum, watching Yan Fengwu. After continuing to maintain for a while, Yan Fengwu couldn't hold on anymore, let go of her body, and sat cross-legged on the ground. A tidal wave of heat surged out of Yan Fengwu's bone marrow, and the heat penetrated through Yan Fengwu's skin, making her whole body flush red. After a long while, Yan Fengwu opened his mouth to drink, and a foot-long air arrow spewed out of his mouth, bringing out a rolling heat wave, and Yan Fengwu's red body became white and delicate like jade again. Have I become a warrior? Yan Fengwu looked at her hands in disbelief, she really couldn't think that happiness would come so quickly. Xing Meng looked around Yan Fengwu and was amazed. What happened just now was beyond his expectations. Yi Yu, what exactly are you doing? It's so miraculous. Xing Meng asked Yi Yu curiously. This action can actually stimulate the human body's potential, improve physical fitness quickly, and there are no side effects. I said it all, the 36th set of radio gymnastics. Yi Yu also stopped and glanced at Xing Meng, but when he saw him, he didn't listen carefully. Yan Fengwu finally recovered from the excitement of becoming a warrior, and said as if taking credit, "Yi Yu, how was the action I did just now?" Yi Yu pouted, "Although it's very eye-catching, it's not very good." Yan Fengwu raised her brows and stared at Yi Yu. "How is it possible? I have persevered. There are 36 movements in total in the whole set, and you haven't finished 1/3 of it, what do you think?" Humph. Yan Fengwu was speechless this time, then glared at Yi Yu and snorted softly. Yi Yu was snorted a little by Yan Fengwu, and quickly continued, "This set of movements can stimulate the potential of the human body and increase the physical fitness by 3 to 5 times. But you have to persevere and do it once a day. 3 to 5 times. Yan Fengwu was a little surprised to be able to increase so much. Xing Meng, on the other hand, was immersed in the movements that Yi Yu did just now. The more he thought about it, the more magical he felt. "Yi Yu, can you finish this set of moves?" Yi Yu nodded when he heard Xing Meng's request. "Okay, I haven't finished it yet." Next, Yi Yu performed all the following actions. Xing Meng and Yan Fengwu saw their scalps go numb, and they were worried in their hearts. They were really afraid that Yi Yu would tear himself apart in the next second. When Yi Yu was done, both Xing Meng and Yan Fengwu let out a long breath, and finally let go of their dangling hearts. It's comfortable. Yi Yu stopped and felt the heat radiating from the inside out of his body. It was more comfortable than anything else. After Yi Yu finished, Xing Meng closed his eyes and thought. It took a long time before he opened his eyes and muttered, "If this action can stimulate the potential of the human body, can it also treat my injury?" Yan Fengwu's eyes lit up after hearing this, and she said happily, "Master, give it a try, maybe this action can really cure your injury." When Xing Meng heard the words, Jiyu Jing Wubo's eyes became excited. As a once talented martial artist, Xing Meng still remembers the actions just now, even though it was very complicated. After some activities, Xing Meng was ready to start the 36th set of radio gymnastics. "Wait," Yi Yu quickly stopped Xing Meng. "Remember to do warm-up exercises." After Xing Meng heard it, his head was full of black lines, but he had no choice but to reminisce about his school days. 1 form, 2 forms. As expected of a powerful warrior, Xing Meng did nearly half of this action before he couldn't hold on and stopped. Woohoo! After Xing Meng stopped, the sound of blood rushing in his body was like a surging river, and the heat radiated from Xing Meng's body. A large amount of heat enveloped Xing Meng's body, as if a giant beast was swallowing clouds and mist. After a long time, Xing Meng took a long breath, and the heat on his body was completely dissipated. When Yan Fengwu saw Xing Meng's work, she hurriedly asked, "How is the master? Does it work?" Xing Meng nodded excitedly, "Although it is a little weak, it is effective. I believe that I will stick to the full set of movements, and the injury will get better soon." "Really? Great." Yan Fengwu jumped up happily. Xing Meng couldn't help but be overjoyed. His injury has always been entangled in his heart, and now it can be treated, which is really gratifying. Xing Meng put away his excitement and bowed deeply towards Yi Yu. "Thank you for your kindness." Yi Yu was startled. What is this? Get up quickly. Xing Meng looked solemn, and his voice was firm. This action has given me a second chance to become a strong man, and it is worthy of Xing Meng's great worship. Dip. Congratulations to the host for promoting radio gymnastics, and a lottery will be awarded. The sound of the system in his mind surprised Yi Yu. Maybe it would be good to be an Amway madman. Because Yi Yu and Yan Fengwu had just become warriors, and Xing Meng had to consolidate his injuries, after agreeing to fight another day, Yi Yu walked out of the school directly. Yi Yu was playing with a card in his hand, and on it was a masked man standing in the center of the stage, singing to his heart's content. The stage was shining brightly, and the masked man was holding the microphone. Although Yi Yu couldn't hear his singing, just by looking at the cheering crowd under the stage, he knew that he was standing in the center of the world at this moment. This card was obtained by Yi Yu by lottery, and it was called the Masked Singer King. King of Masked Singer. I don't usually sing because I know that when I sing, the whole world goes silent. With a flick of Yi Yu's fingers, the card spun rapidly in midair, and then turned into a stream of light that penetrated into Yi Yu's mind. Hello, everyone. I'm Ake. The theme of our live broadcast is called Street Singer. As of 12 o'clock in the morning, everyone will vote for the passerby who sings the best, and I will give him my phone number. The crisp voice came from a distance, and Yi Yu couldn't help but look up. A tall and slender beauty walked over, holding a mobile phone while walking and talking, as if she was live streaming. Yi Yu raised his brows. He happened to know this person. It should be said that there were many people in Yi Yu's class who knew her. Yi Yu heard a lot and knew it. Ake, a beautiful anchor, with a sweet appearance and a funny personality, often broadcasts live broadcasts unreasonably. Listen to what she means. Is today's live broadcast content singing? Up to now, we have invited 7 passers-by. Look. There is a handsome guy in front of us, we let him sing a song. Ake held up the phone and saw Yi Yu who was approaching, her eyes lit up, and she waved her hand. Yi Yu stopped, waited for Ake to approach, and asked, is something wrong? Ake pointed at the phone, but didn't point it at Yi Yu. I'm an anchor and I'm a passerby singer. I hope you can sing us a song. Yi Yu smiled softly. It was a coincidence, yes, but I hope not to point the camera at me. Akko asked suspiciously, why? Because I'm afraid that when I finish singing, your fans will fall in love with me. Akko was stunned, so confident. On the screen of Ake's mobile phone, messages from countless fans floated by. Wow, I give full marks to this forced dress. Ake, I will always love you. Let him go. 666, Ake must let him sing. I have recorded it, and finally see him slap in the face. The principal rewarded Buddha for jumping over the wall. Ake, wait for me to fly over. Give me your phone number. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Cough, if you really don't want to show up, I can bring you a mask. Ake gave Yi Yu a polite smile. That's right. Yi Yu took Ake's phone and turned to ask her, what song? Fans in the live broadcast room saw Yi Yu wearing a mask and complained one after another. Warmly welcome the masked singer to sing us a song. The bench pepper water is ready. Is this the man I might fall in love with? I'm the man you'll never get. Sing slowly, little brother, I'm going to the toilet. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Ake raised his brows. This handsome guy is really confident, just sing what you are best at. Yi Yu nodded, looked at the phone screen, and coughed twice. Cough, a moonlight for everyone. Moonlight, feminine fragrance. Tears break the sword, how long is the love? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Close your eyes, who is the craziest? The impermanence of this world. The one you are destined to love will be hurt. With a smile on the corner of Ake's mouth, he was about to read Yi Yu's joke, but when Yi Yu opened his mouth, Ake was completely stunned, staring blankly at the young man singing a cappella with his eyes closed in the moonlight. There was a woman who made the city fall in one dance. Since the Qin dynasty, she has traveled through the ages and danced alone under the bright moon. The melodious and charming singing reverberated on the side of the road, and Yi Yu's moonlight touched the hearts of many people. When Yi Yu stopped, everything was quiet. Ake really felt at this moment, what is the aftertaste of the beam, and the aftertaste is endless. Is your phone broken and why the screen doesn't move? Yi Yu handed the phone to AK and asked suspiciously. Hearing Yi Yu's voice, Ake woke up from the singing just now, with reluctance and regret in his eyes. Ake looked at her cell phone, and glanced at Yu speechlessly. You can play my latest Fruit X machine, you are also a must. After Ake refreshed it again, the messages in the live broadcast room poured out frantically. Hiss. Ake took a deep breath and glanced at Yu in shock. In the time of one song, the number of fans in the live broadcast room has reached tens of millions. No wonder it's stuck. At the beginning, the number of people watching Ake's live broadcast was only a few 100,000, but with Yu's Moonlight, the number of people has increased by 100 times. 666. My ears are pregnant. This is really the Masked Singer. Ake asked him to take off the mask. I only heard half of it. Why am I going to the toilet? It's over. I really love him. The principal offered a spacewalk. Ake, don't let him go. I've already flown over. I recorded it. Who wants it? WX 78,934,893. Don't you have a stunning woman in ancient costume in your mind? Question mark, question mark, question mark. The message like an ocean wave directly occupied the screen of the mobile phone. For a long time, there was no intention to stop. Ake had no choice but to turn off the live broadcast and looked at Yu in shock. I really didn't expect that you could sing so well. If you let female fans see your face, they'd be crazy. Yu shrugged. I said, if I don't wear a mask, they will fall in love with me. Ake rolled her eyes at Yu. With your singing voice, even if you put on a mask, they will all fall in love with you. Looking at Yu's young face, Ake asked, at your age, are you still in school? Just the third year of high school. Is there any idea of becoming a star? With your conditions, it will definitely be a big hit. Yu waved his hand and said, without this idea, that's not the life I want. This person. Ake was a little disappointed, but then he was overjoyed again, and gave him the phone number. If he could keep in touch in the future, wouldn't he be able to hear him sing more often? Ake handed a note to Yu. Facing hundreds of thousands of fans, Ake was a little shy at the moment. Cough, this is my phone number, I will contact you more often in the future. Yu took the note and glanced at it. This Ake is also considered an internet celebrity, but she never dared to think about it before. It's getting late, I should go back. After Yu finished speaking, he said hello to Ake and turned to leave. After a long while, Ake retracted his gaze and restarted the live broadcast. In the live broadcast room, there were still millions of fans who did not leave. Hello, I'm Ake, I'm back. Ake greeted the fans in the live broadcast room and was still a little excited. It was the first time that his live broadcast exceeded 10 million. Where's the song God? We want the song God. One more song, I can't sleep without listening to me. Goddess, you won't really give him the phone, will you? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Looking at the message on the screen, Ake cleared his throat and said, this is the end of today's Passerby Singers. I believe you all know who is the champion. Of course I will give him the phone number. Wow, Ake, you won't like him, let's chat privately and give me his phone number. What does Akko look like? Is he handsome? Ake, I'm going to find you, I want to find him, he's my boyfriend. All the female fans burst out with amazing energy, with the intention of crossing the screen and grabbing Yu. Ake looked at the message on the screen and was also drunk. You coquettish fools, give up. I won't share him with you. Date, this can be. When I woke up in the morning and opened the window, I was in a good mood. After taking a shower, Yu started the most important thing of the day, stealing the heavens. Yu called out in his heart, and the system panel suddenly appeared in Yu's mind. Human race. Yu, first level Taoist. Physique. Spirit sword body. Number of thefts, 1 inch. Avenue value, 210 1,000ths. Talents, flying cards, super mental arithmetic, language master, 13 needles of Ghost Gate, king of masked singers. Gongfa, the 36th set of radio gymnastics. Items, mantra potion, Conan's same spectacles, Dragon Gate jade carving, fire orb, luminous cup. Number of draws, 0 inches. Let's start. Yu gave an order, and a brilliant light circle appeared in front of Yu. The far-reaching and vast Caribbean Sea is a paradise for pirates. There are countless treasures and endless pirates. Among them, the most frightening is the undead pirate who drives the Black Pearl, Barbassa. A pirate ship full of moss is driving its sails, riding the wind and waves on the sea. Occasionally, the bright moonlight shone down on the pirate ship, and all the lively crew members turned into active skeletons at this moment. This is the pirate led by Barbossa. Because of the curse of Aztec gold coins, once they appear in the moonlight, they will become skeletons. Although he is immortal, he also loses the joy of being a human being. The Barbossa pirates wander the Caribbean Sea all day long, just to lift this curse. Outside a remote island cave, the Black Pearl slipped in silently like a ghost. The cave is narrow outside and wide inside, and the pirate ship floats quietly on the clear water. Through the sea water, you can see the dazzling gold coins below. Going to the deepest part of the cave, countless torches and the moonlight on the top of the cave will illuminate it like day. The mountain-like gold and silver treasures are piled up in the deepest part of the cave, radiating dazzling brilliance against the backdrop of the fire. Countless gold coins, gems and antique playthings make this a greedy paradise. And at the top of the endless treasure is a large stone box with intricate patterns. The lid of the stone box was leaning aside, revealing a box full of strange gold coins. The outer circle of the gold coin is a radial triangle, and in the center is a wicked skull engraved. This is the cursed Aztec gold coin. The undead pirate Barbossa stood beside the box, leaned over and grabbed a handful of gold coins, and let go of his hands to let the gold coins fall back into the box. Hearing the jingling of gold coins, Barbossa laughed excitedly. Looking at the pirates watching around, Barbossa shouted, "Cheer! Today, we will unlock the curse that binds us." Oh, oh, oh. When the pirates heard Barbossa's roar, they all shouted excitedly. Barbossa reached out and pressed down, and after the pirates were quiet, he waved, "Bring him up." A handsome man was pushed onto a mountain of gold coins by pirates. Barbossa stretched out his hand to hold the man's necklace, and with a sudden tug, pulled off the gold coin tied to the necklace. This was the last Aztec gold coin. Barbossa took a dagger and cut a knife in the man's palm, infecting the gold coin into blood. Barbossa stared at the blood-stained gold coin excitedly, and then held it high. "As long as this gold coin is returned to the box, our curse will be lifted." The raised hand was released, and the blood-stained gold coins rolled down from the air. Ding! A crisp crash sounded in the box, awakening a group of pirates. A pirate stood on the edge of the moonlight pouring down from the top of the cave and held out his hand tremblingly. "Not a skeleton. The curse is lifted." The pirates shouted excitedly, and the whole person was bathed in the moonlight, but they never turned into active skeletons again. Oh, 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 all the pirates cheered and celebrated their new life. But none of the cheering pirates noticed. A right hand stretched out of thin air, reached into the box, grabbed a handful of gold coins, and disappeared. Yu spread out his hand, and 5 golden gold coins lay quietly on the palm of his hand. What a weird gold coin. Yu stared at the gold coin in the palm of his hand, and the skull carved on it was particularly eye-catching. These few gold coins exude invisible fluctuations, making people fascinated by them. There is a voice in the dark telling the person who looks at the gold coin to get it. No one can take it away. Drip. Congratulations to the host for successfully stealing, and the reward is 90 points. Dip. Congratulations to the host for stealing the cursed Aztec gold coins. Hearing the voice of the system in his mind, Yu asked suspiciously, "System, what kind of gold coin is this?" Cursed Aztec gold coins. The gold coins are intertwined with inseparable protection and damage. This is a blessing and a curse. Are you extracting spirituality? Extract. 5 gold coins lay in Yu's palm, and a cloud of golden and black aura emerged from the gold coins, and it disappeared between Yu's brows in the blink of an eye. Recalling the information in his mind, Yu took a deep breath. It is indeed a gold coin that combines blessing and curse. These 5 gold coins brought Yu 2 kinds of innate abilities, namely Guardian Halo and Curse Halo. Guardian Halo. When danger comes, you can transform into an invisible barrier to protect yourself. Aura of Curse. Put it on your enemy, he will have bad luck for the next month. Outside Shangyu Middle School, Uyangyu and Qin Qing came together. Have you remembered everything I told you? Uyangyu looked at Qin Qing and asked in a low voice. Qin Qing nodded and made a gesture. No problem, isn't it because Han Shui and Yu misunderstood? I'm the best at this kind of thing. Qin Qing glanced at Uyangyu carefully, and then said, "Then you promised me something, so you won't forget it, right?" Yang Yu squinted his eyes and said with a sneer, I will still give you that little money. As long as you are obedient, the money will not be short of you. Seeing Qin Qing walking away, Yang Yu raised the corners of his mouth and said disdainfully, just because of your appearance, you can throw it away for fun, and you want to entangle me, bah. Let's use the waist in the end. Hey, uncle, I'm Yang Yu, and things have been done. Yang Yu picked up the phone and called Zhu Liang. Zhu Liang's greasy voice rang on the phone, Xiao Yu, I stole the medical report from your aunt, is it okay? Don't worry, you just need to give me the medical report at that time. There will be no problem this time. Yang Yu hung up the phone with a vicious look in his eyes, Yi Yu, this time you will definitely be unable to stand up. At this moment, Qin Qing had already walked to the door of the first class of the third grade, and looked inside. When he saw Yi Yu, he shouted in surprise, Yi Yu. Come out, I have something to tell you. Qin Qing, how did she find Yi Yu? Han Shui, who was on the side, saw Qin Qing, and was surprised, and a bad feeling rose in her heart. Yi Yu frowned. He had a little impression of Qin Qing, as if he had spoken to him, but he ignored her. However, seeing Han Shui's appearance, she seemed to be familiar with her, so Yi Yu stood up and walked outside the door. And Yi Yu's classmates secretly envied Yi Yu's good fortune, and another small fresh beauty came to him. Yi Yu frowned and looked at Qin Qing, who pretended to be a little bird, and asked indifferently, what do you have to do with me? Qin Qing looked up at Yi Yu with a blushing look on her face, and pretended to say loudly, didn't you tell me that you want to dump Han Shui and stay with me? And the students in class 1 of senior 3 had already raised their ears, and when they heard this sentence, their eyes widened instantly. There is a situation. Yi Yu frowned and said coldly, are you sick? I don't even know you. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.